It's Spoon Phillips out here at the Martin Museum, attached to C.F. Martin and Company in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. And with me, of course, is Tim Teel, head of instrument design at C.F. Martin and Company. And many of you, I know, will recognize this 1953 D-18 that belonged to the late Kurt Cobain, except it's not. So tell us what this is, Tim.
So this is a brand new D-18 StreetLegend. And it's a new part of the series. You know, we had Street Master. This is upping it one more notch. So this is a StreetLegend. This pattern happens to be taken from that very guitar you mentioned, the one right here in our museum at Martin Guitar. And what's really cool about it is we were able to digitally recreate the wear pattern from that guitar and replicate it on the surface of the top.
So this is not physically distressed. Somebody did not go in back in the custom shop and slowly distress this to make it look exactly like it. It was created by an amazing 21st century digital painter.
Yes.
That is, as you guys won't believe how realistic this looks until you are a foot away from it and are absolutely fooled by this.
You have to see it in person to really grasp how cool it really is. And, you know, listen, you're getting a brand new D-18, and it's all in satin. It's a nice 30 sheen satin. And it's a slightly lower price than a regular gloss D-18, which is really cool.
It's actually pretty significantly lower price, in my opinion. But these guitars sound wonderful. They actually have their own sound, but they still have the full D-18 standard series construction, same forward-shifted scallop 5/16 inch bracing, same traditional wide dovetail neck joint, same neck, same cosmetics, except the StreetLegend models have these nickel tuners that are kind of in a pewter color that look like aged tuners.
Yeah, they're patinaed. Yeah, so they are definitely a different tuner set than what you would get on a regular D-18. And the other difference is we do hand vintage the pickguard itself. So instead of being full gloss pickguard, it does have a hand applied.
So a craftsman or craftswoman actually goes on there and does that. It does that on the pickguard.
On the pickguard itself. So the surfaces all kind of match up, you know, as far as the satin look of the guitar goes. Yep.
Now this is part of a series of 6 new guitars, new for 2023, coming out at the NAMM show. There is the D-18 Satin that just has the normal spruce top, and then there's the D-18 Satin Amberburst, and in a moment we're going to take a look at the D-28 version, because they're also doing a D-28 Satin, D-28 Satin Amberburst, and a D-28 StreetLegend. So how does the StreetLegend 28 version differ from the 18?
It differs in the sense of the wear pattern on the top. So what we've been finding out is, as we're looking into replicating these wear patterns, typically most wear patterns are more severe on 18 models. And we have a theory on that, and the theory is because the 18 was a lower price instrument that many people use them out to play gigs and really beat them up. So as we're looking through some different wear patterns that we really liked, we came across one that has slight wear to it, but slighter than this, but it's still contrasty enough that it looks cool, right? And that one we decided to put on the D-28. So it's more fitting with how they would naturally age.
But it's taken from a real top, from a real vintage Martin.
That's correct, yep.
Yeah, so these, you'll have to, you know.
Just not a famous one.
It's not a famous one, yes. So you have to really hear these, and you will all over the internet, and hopefully, you know, it's your local dealer. And I'm here for Moore's Music, and we actually did some direct A/B sound tests with the standard high gloss D-28 and the standard high gloss D-18 side by side, same room, same mics, live time, and you can hear the difference. You can hear how the thinner gloss finish, which has fewer layers, it makes it. I won't say it sounds like the VTS Torrified, but it has an openness to it and a One of our friends, Jim, was talking about the shimmering quality of the trebles, and that is unique. Even though it's still in the standard series, it's still technically a D-18. It doesn't sound exactly the same, and there are definitely going to be people out there who say it even sounds better.
And just to clarify, because I think you said thinner gloss finish, what you meant to say was the thinner satin finish.
Yeah, this is satin finish,
right,
but the fewer layers than the full gloss finish.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So the satin, you always get fewer layers on, so to your point, it does open the guitar sound up. Just because there's less finish on it.
Yeah, it doesn't hug the wood so much.
Correct.
And allows it to vibrate or resonate in a different way. So very impressive. And then back here we have the D-28 Satin Amberburst.
So this one, as we talked about, it's pretty much the same specs as a D-28. And we'll start with the tuning gears just because these are what you would normally get on a D-28. They are not patinaed in any way. And likewise with the pickguard's shiny like you would get on a regular D-28. This has the exact same specs. In fact, when you look on the inside, you'll see that it says D-28. So when your dealer goes to order these, they will order by a special number so that they know which model they're actually getting, whether it's a satin, a full gloss, an Amberburst in this case, or a StreetLegend.
And they're all now considered D-28s, different varieties of D-28s in the standard series.
Right.
Now this is a very soft Amberburst. I don't know how well you can see it on here, but unlike the amber tone finishes that you get on certain models, you can see all of the wood grain. None of the wood grain is hidden. And I love the way that it is very gently comes in and is almost natural color by the time you get into the center.
Yeah, these bursts are designed to let the beauty of the wood show through the burst, right? So you can see the wood grain all the way, even into the darker portion of the burst. And as you mentioned, this is an amber burst as opposed to an amber tone. And in Martin world, amber tone means it's more uniform in color, it's less contrasty. Burst means it has more contrast.
So, oh, very good. So, and in both cases, it's based on real vintage Martins from the 1930s that had the darker, what's now called a sunburst, but has like faded and mellowed over time and gives you this much more gentle glow effect. So, and these guitars do not sound exactly like the full gloss D-28. They have their own personality and dynamics. And I think people are going to be really surprised at how nice they sound. I think they're absolutely grand as a fingerstyle guitar. I've been enjoying fingerpicking these guitars and listening to other people, Maury and other people, fingerpick them. They're absolutely ideal fingerpicking dreadnought.
I did want to say, too, it's interesting over the years. We've seen, like in the early 1930s and 40s, there was a semi-gloss to a full gloss, depending on what you would buy. So in the authentic line now, we did replicate that formula that was found about how to prepare a D-18 or D-28, which is now called vintage gloss. So that's we take something up to full gloss and then we dull it back a little bit by hand. Back then, if you had a 45, it would have been full gloss, would have been totally buffed out. And it's very interesting to see how trends follow over the years, because not that long ago, a big trend was gloss tops. So people like to see a glossy top with a satin back and sides. That trend seems to be falling away now. And what we're finding is if you want gloss, you typically want the whole guitar body to be gloss. And if you want satin, you want the whole guitar body to be satin. So this is a way for somebody who is interested in a 18 or 28, save a little bit of money and get that beautiful satin feel to it. This is a 30 sheen satin. It's over the neck, the body, front and back. And it's a way for somebody to get into a standard series at a slightly lower price point, which is really cool. And if satin appeals to you as a player, then this could be your next guitar.
Yeah, and Barton certainly made, they call them matte finishes in the 20s and 30s. The 17s and 15s typically had even less gloss than the 28s and the 18s and the 21s. But yeah, beautiful guitars. What we don't have here is an example of the third version, which is just the Satin, but it's basically it looks, when you open the case or you across the room, it looks virtually the same as a D-18 or D-28 until you realize it's not reflecting the light all over the place.
Correct.
So until you pick it up, they're light, they sound airy. Again, it's almost like a vintagey sound that the lighter finish gives you a more open tone. And I have a feeling these are going to become popular, they're going to sell well, and then we may see some more models in this probably coming on.
Absolutely.
So very cool.